I've attended a lot of Board of Ed meetings over the years. I've been following you guys since, on my website since maybe 2005, 2006. And the comment I'm going to make right now, it's not going to be a really nice comment, but unfortunately during the public speaking portion of the Board of Ed meetings, you can't say anything critical towards the Board of Ed. So it's a great opportunity for me to say something on behalf of a lot of people who feel the same way I do. And this is about the attendance of members of the Board of Ed. So these members of the Board of Ed in a workplace would be fired immediately. You have an incumbent who has one of the worst attendance records on the Board of Ed, who's running for election this year, who's not even here at this forum. You have the city budget is gigantic. The city budget is over $200 million. Out of that, the Board of Ed, the education portion of that budget, takes up over 50% of the budget. Over 50%. Okay, you have a great responsibility in terms of taking a lot of the money of the city of Danbury to make decisions on behalf of the most vulnerable members of our city, the kids. I always hear all the time, it's all about the kids. Well, if it's all about the kids, you should show up to the meetings. You should show up and make the critical votes that determine the education of our kids. There's a reason why my kid is going to the St. Gregory's. Because I really don't trust the decisions that are being made by people who don't show up to the meetings. I heard one member up here talk about the lack of people who are here. Well, I remember going to budget meetings at Rogers Park School where the place was completely packed with students and parents and teachers and concerned citizens and residents who got up and said, please, don't cut MRI. Please, don't cut the paraprofessionals, because we need them in the schools. Well, you know what? Well, all those people up there speaking and talking, pleading for this not to happen. Some members of the Board of Ed weren't in attendance to hear the public speak. And then they turn around and make decisions that weren't very wise. So my question to you is, if you decide to run, and if you are elected, will you show up to these meetings? And if you can't make the meetings, will you please step down?
My wife doesn't need me home. She knows that I'm going to attend all the meetings. That's what I wanted to be on the board ages ago. A good friend of mine called around and said, you got to be on the board. I was dedicated to the students that I was teaching. Now I have time to commit to the Board of Education. That's your job. You've got to be there. It's a thankless job, you know that. But you've got to be there. It's our future. It's our future. You've got to be there to make decisions. You can't wait for the following month to make decisions. Some decisions need to be made immediately. You have to be there.
I'd like to address that. I've presided over many of these meetings where we have maybe a fair forum. One of the things I'd like to say is that during my time on the board, I've tried to talk about myself personally as a candidate to address your question. I've tried to lead by example. Over the past, since I joined the board in October 2006, I have not missed a regular meeting or a special meeting of the board, and I'm 100% attendance. That being said, I think part of my role being the chairman is to try and keep that, keep the business flowing, to keep things happening, keep decisions happening on the board. For those people who don't show up, what I've tried to do over the past year or two as the board chair is to make public the attendance records of people who were coming or not coming. I think it's the public's right to know who's coming or not coming to these meetings. And so, maybe more so than in the past, I have put in the agenda and the meeting materials the attendance records of all board members at all meetings. And third, for those people who chronically don't show up, and again, if they need to have a pep talk with them to show up or not, maybe they shouldn't be on there. But I think we're moving in a good direction, just given the number of open seats that we have here today. Some people have chosen not to run again, and I think that's that may be a good sign in getting some turnover, to get more people who are really committed, whatever part they want to show up and to get the job done. Thank you.
this. I've been on the library board of directors for 3 years, and in those 3 years I've missed only one meeting, and that's when I went out of town to celebrate my daughter's 40th birthday, and we couldn't reschedule that one, so we had to miss the library. But I will be there if I can. Thank you.
My answer to your question is that I think it has to do with work ethic. I never missed more than 3 days in 42 years. I don't intend to take this job on, which I don't take on to put on a resume or to have my name in the papers. If anything, I'd rather not do that. I take it on because this all matters to me, and I will be there. Otherwise, I wouldn't be here.
Well, it certainly would be hard to say, no, I'm not going to be there. But I think when I made the decision to run for the Board of Ed, I had to have a family meeting. I'll be honest with you, I had to sit down with my husband because I do have children, 2 children as well, and I said, you know what? He knows this has been a passion of mine. He knows that this is something I've always wanted to do. So I had to ask him, you know, this is going to require time, and will you be in support of my endeavors? And he looked at me and he said, absolutely, because this is something you've always wanted to do and something you've always aspired for. And so, because I have a very supportive husband, I can tell you that I will be at those meetings because he will be doing the homework with my children that night.
I will speak for myself as well. I too will be at those meetings. I have been attending meetings. I am committed, and I think that you need to have knowledge in order to make these decisions. And if you don't attend those meetings, you can't make a commitment to your own boundaries.
Thank you very much for your responses. Good luck tomorrow.